We're here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, and so before we get into everything about expression, what's the atmosphere and how everything's going on here?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know, it's like CPAC, but specifically tailored to women. It just, everything's pink, it's fun, people are loud and excited, and this energy is just, we're taking back feminism.
This is TrendChat with Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome to another episode of TrendChat. I am your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you want to connect with us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat. It's all the same name, at TrendChat 24/7. Also, we're available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all sorts of popular podcast outlets. And if you can't find us on one of those outlets, you can always go to TrendChat247.com. So, I guess if you're noticing a little different music we got here, so we're gonna just messing around with other music here. So I've been putting together some other things. So expect to hear some different beginnings, the different intro. So, but enough of that. If you don't know, the person you heard from the beginning, that was a frequent guest that we met for the first time, Lacey Williams, founder and editor-in-chief of Expressions Magazine. So, like I said, we've had these number of interviews over the phone, and we met for the first time face-to-face at the Young Women's Leadership Summit in Dallas the past weekend, which is put on by Turning Point USA. And we were there getting some interviews and talking to a number of people. And you're going to hear clips of some of that on this episode, basically just talking about the event. Most of what you're going to hear is that, but also these are clips from longer interviews that will be posted in the weeks to come. So what you hear now, just a snippet, really, mainly just the part talking about the event, and then everything else we talked about, we're just going to hold off on for later episodes. So now at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, or YWLS, we were there in 2017, and we didn't make it last year. So, we were grateful that TPUSA had us to come out this year to cover the event. And I was not able to be inside as much to hear all the speeches, but I did hear a couple of them. So I was like going in and out because I was either interviewing someone or waiting to interview someone or trying to find someone. And so I was like in and out a lot. So I didn't get a chance to hear a lot of the speeches, but from what I heard, everything was just uplifting. And one thing I noticed that you're probably going to hear from some of these clips as well is that it's just really encouraging. And whether it's this or any sort of, I would say, conservative event, is a very refreshing time to be amongst people that think like you or have the same views, or at least close to it, at least, because I think I mentioned this a number of times, especially when you talk about whether it's NRA or CPAC or whatever. A lot of us are in 9-to-5 jobs somewhere, and the majority of the people who surround us are not conservative, or if they are conservative, don't want to talk about it in public, and so a lot of times you probably feel as a conservative, or in a Christian conservative especially, you feel pretty ostracized. And so you'll come to something like this, and where you will know that you're not the only one, and there are a lot more that like you that are out there. It is a time to breathe and not feel all feel like you're going to be attacked for everything you say that may be something that is not what quote unquote progressive. And so and that's the environment, and that's the feeling you will have a lot of times when you go to these events. So you had speakers, obviously Charlie Kirk being the founder of TrendChat USA. He spoke a number of times. Allie Stuckey was the chairwoman of the whole event, and you had speakers like Congressman Dan Crenshaw, former Ambassador Nikki Haley, Dana Lash, Anna Paulina, Brandon Tatum, Judge Janine Pirro. The list goes on because it was 3 days. So just wanted to, I guess, give everyone that's listening a little bit of a feel of what was going on. And so we'll play a couple of clips from people we got a chance to talk with. And first, I mentioned about TrendChat USA, and one thing I noticed this year, I don't know if they've been doing this. Well, I'm pretty sure they've been doing this, but just something that kind of been, I guess, promoted, I guess, in a way, because the one thing I saw a lot during the lead up to this event was a lot of people posting about being TPUSA ambassadors. And so one thing I wanted to ask about is ask one of the ambassadors, like, what is it and what is this all about? So one of those ambassadors is a returning guest is Antonia Okafor. So she's been on a number of times, and so we got a chance to speak with her last week. And so one of the first questions we asked was about being a TP USA ambassador. So without further ado, here's our clip with Antonia.
Yeah, so TPUSA ambassador is basically people who already have a strong following. People are listening to them. They have a strong message, but they're also aligned really well with the TPUSA mission and movement. And so TPUSA is really, spearheading this. Let's all, we're a conservative movement. We need to show that we're all in this together and bringing everybody together under one roof to spread the message, but also spread our message that we have individually. And that goes across the gamut. So mine obviously is the gun rights issues. People who are really big on abortion. There are people big on a lot of different issues that pertains to the conservative movement, but unified under one umbrella. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. We're doing a lot of it's going to keep progressing and it's moving, but I'm really excited to see what we're going to be doing in the future as well. I know we're going to be doing more retreats and more events together, so just be looking out for more influencers to be at TPSA conferences in the future.
Yeah, so we're here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, actually here in Dallas, Texas. Yeah. And so I guess describe the environment and how things been going so far.
Oh, I love the energy. This is my 4th year at Young Women's Leadership Summit. Actually, the first time I was here was as just a regular attendee. A little older than the student. I was a graduate student, but that's kind of when I started my Campus Carry activism journey. Shortly after, I did NRA and stuff like that, but I've been here ever since, and every year it gives me energy, it gives me hope, it refocuses me, and makes me realize why Empowered is so needed, and it's just great to talk to these young women and be able to talk to them about conservative values and why they're excited about it, and just the energy that they bring to this movement is so important. So yeah, love it here.
Hey, this is Benny Johnson. You're listening to Trend Chat with Brian Bledsoe, the best beard in the business.
All right, and like I said, that clip with Antonia is just a short clip of a longer interview that we'll be playing later on in the weeks to come. So thanks to Antonia for that. And well, I guess I'll say this now. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, so I will say this. I guess spoiler alert if you're listening for the NBA Finals. So this is a spoiler alert, and I'm just going to just mention it for a couple of seconds. Like I will say maybe 30 seconds. I'm not going to talk long about it. So spoiler alert, 30 seconds starting now. All right, the Toronto Raptors have won the NBA Finals. There, and as this recording, like it just happened, and so we're recording down here in Victoria, Texas. So okay, I guess the 30 seconds is over, but yeah, just wanted to mention that if you care. So, and yeah, I was watching a little bit of that. So, but as I said, we're in close to we're south of Houston. Well south of Houston, but we're in Victoria tonight, and we just it's for one, as I mentioned, that the time that we're recording, it's been quite a long day actually as far as being on the road. It was just weird. I don't know, I guess I don't want to get into my day really, but it wasn't like something spectacular. It was just weird. It was a long drive, then it was a long wait, and yeah, it was just, I don't know, kind of messed up my time as far as wanting to record and all that. So, but anyway, you don't care about none of that. I just want to mention before we get into our next clip, just a big thank you to 1776united.com. And I know a number of people asked about the hat that I was wearing at the event in Dallas with the Don't Tread on Me snapback that I was wearing. And so every time someone asked about it, I had a card from 1776 to give them with the code I will give to you now, which is 76militia-TrendChat. So if you put in that code, you get 20% off. And so they have a number of hats as well as the one they once saw. They have other hats with the Join or Die, with the American flag, and the Come and Take It, number of mugs, shirts, you name it, they pretty much have it. And it's just great patriotic gear from 1776united.com. So check them out, and I thank them for partnering with TrendChat. Now at the Young Women's Leadership Summit 2 years ago, speaking of Antonia, who was just on now, we were introduced to Amy Robbins at the 2017 Young Women's Leadership Summit. And from that, she has been on TrendChat a couple of times. And if you have heard previous episodes, every now and then you will hear a little shout out from her. And so we got a chance to catch up not only with Amy, but a first-time guest being Emily Valentine. They both do a podcast called Not Your Average Gun Girls. And so we got a chance to talk with them for a little bit. And so, again, this is just a little clip of what is to come on TrendChat with Not Your Average Gun Girls.
First time we met was at the Young Women's Leadership Summit 2 years ago.
Was that what it? Yeah, 2017, where we both attended that, actually. Yeah, I think I was with Antonia. We were doing some stuff with Empowered, and which that organization is just killing it right now too. But she introduced us together. Yep.
Yeah, and we're here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit now, here in 2019. And so, I guess, express the atmosphere here and what you're getting from the event so far.
You go first.
I'm kind of left a little bit speechless because I'm in awe of the women and the young ladies that we're seeing, and just how poised and classy, educated, and how they have this community together and they're learning from each other. And what I love the most is that I think some of the things that Amy and I talk about, or one of our main missions is about empowering women to be self-reliant and think about personal safety. And of all the women that we spoke to, like, we didn't have to bring that up. That was conversation that they were bringing up on their own, and it's so encouraging to hear that they are thinking about that, about personal safety. They are thinking about sort of like having that mindset, and I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. This is the younger generation, and these women who are here are going to help build and uplift and kind of spread that message. And it's just
because the entire celebration here this weekend is about celebrating freedom.
Yeah.
And those of us who do start to take our personal safety and responsibility serious is because we understand that is a freedom that we have in this country. And so I think that's a recurring theme this weekend is freedom. You know, it's freedom to express our belief in God. It's freedom to express our belief and our love for this country, for the Constitution. And I love seeing that energy because Emily is so right. There's been just so much class, and everyone is so put together here, and they're respectful. And I've sat down, I mean, many places around this hotel this weekend, and I've heard good dialogue and discussion of opposing views. And, you know, not everyone that's here at this conservative convention agrees on 100% of the issues, but what I've been able to hear is them sit down and actually debate, have civilized debate again, and do it in a respectful way. And then guess what? They usually give each other a hug and they go on their merry way. We're not seeing people scream and yell and fight. And a lot of women here that are here, especially some of the influencers, have had some really terrible things happen to them. And there's some strength in numbers is what we're seeing. So, you know, just because I want to tell people, just because you may be, you know, going through some persecution because of your beliefs wherever you're at right now, you're not alone, and there is strength. So Turning Point is bringing all these people together and giving them a home, providing them with a community to go and find that support that they need so that they don't have to think that they're alone in expressing their values and their beliefs anymore. Hey, I'm Amy Robbins.
And I'm Emily Valentine. And we are not
your average gun girls.
And you're listening to TrendChat with Brian Bledsoe.
You know, one thing about having these little clips here is that I'm able to play a lot of the music on here. That's just indulging myself, really. But like I said, that's just another clip of what we'll be playing in the coming weeks with Amy and Emily. So, but I don't know if I even played this song before. So, but anyway, now. One thing I did wanted to talk to someone who maybe was listening to more of the speeches than I was, put it that way, because like I said, I was in and out and just really trying to get content for the podcast, basically. And so I wanted to find someone who was actually taking in everything that was going on and get their perspective as well. And so again, this is one part of a longer interview, but we spoke with Lucy. I'm going to say this because I mentioned it in the interview as well, but I'm going to make sure I try to make this like it come right off the tongue. So it's Lucia Scatamaccia. So now, you're going to hear this in the beginning of this interview as well, because we're going to have her on again. I can guarantee it because we already recorded it. So, but this is the first part of a longer interview that we had with her. And so, without further ado, here is that.
Hello, this is Trend Chat, and we are here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit here in Dallas, Texas, and we are very pleased to have a political activist, a TPUSA ambassador, which, if you don't know, is Turning Point USA. And we're going to try this right now, because I told her, I said, I'm not going to ask before we start. I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to try to just say it and see how it sounds. So, her name is Lucia Scaramacchia.
Lucia. Lucia Scaramacchia, yeah.
Oh, okay, so I almost got the last name.
Almost got it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to act like I've been trying because you agreed to come on yesterday. So ever since then, I just like went to Google Translate and had to speak it out. I'm like, because I'm like, okay, I try to sound it out myself. So
yeah, it's Italian. That's the thing. The name is Italian, so it's like,
that's what it said on Google Translate.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, we're here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, and I guess first question, is this your first, summit, or?
No, this is my second summit with TPUSA. My first, was last year. And it was phenomenal because we had Ben Shapiro, we had Jordan Peterson, and I came with my best friend, Valerie Nicholas, who was a Democrat. And so I brought her over, and now she is a Republican, she's a conservative. She actually went to the White House with Candace Owens, and that's where they started the whole Blexit movement. And so it was just phenomenal. It's phenomenal to see how people come to this event and they just leave completely transformed and with a new set of ideas. So
last year you came. So how many, TPUSA events have you been to overall?
Overall, definitely two. Huge events, yes.
So I guess how did this compare, to last year?
Oh, wow. Well, this year we have Nikki Haley. We had her, and that was just phenomenal. Last year we had incredible speakers, like I mentioned, Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. And with Jordan Peterson, you really have to follow along with what he's saying because he's such an intellectual that he goes off on rampant. Yeah. But I think this year was different because we had the ambassador, and she was just so, she loves this country so much, and that really showed, Yeah. And she encouraged every single woman that was at the banquet. Really, she really encouraged me, and she put her foot down and she says, America first. And so I really think that was a huge difference between last year and this year, is that we had her as such an incredible speaker, really, to encourage the women.
So I'm guessing that was your favorite speech of the summit?
Yeah, that was my favorite speech of the summit. And I've heard about her life as well, and what she did when she was governor of South Carolina. And so, she would tell her staff, when anyone calls, you tell them, it's a wonderful day in South Carolina, or it's a great day in South Carolina. You heard that. And so she really changed a lot of things on top of taking down the Confederate flag. So she really put her foot down on all of that. And people thought she wasn't going to do that because she was a woman, or, she really wasn't going to put America first because she wasn't as tough as, a man would be. But she showed all of us how much she loves this nation, and gender doesn't matter. She was qualified for the position, and that just encourages me, and I'm sure it encouraged everyone, to really be qualified for a position and not say, I deserve this position because I'm a woman and you guys have a lot of men. That's not a good argument. You have to be qualified, and really that's what I loved about Nikki's speech.
So I guess what is, maybe not one thing, but what in general are you taking away from this event now that we're near the end of it?
Work harder. And this nation needs us to step up, really. We do get bullied as conservatives, but we should not let that stop us. And I think also I need to be more out there with my opinions, which I already am on social media, but even more so, The nation needs to hear more of that conservative voice because the media just wants to cover it up. So for me personally, it's work harder, make that blog happen, make that YouTube channel, do whatever you can to get yourself involved in politics. So that's what I got out of that. Yeah.
Okay, so if being an ambassador for TPUSA, I'm guessing you are very influential on social media. So where can people find you?
They can find me at luciascaramacchia.com. So that's my full name on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook. So you can provide them my full name. It's a little difficult to spell out, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
No, absolutely. Thank you.
What's going on, y'all? This is Brandon Tatum. Make sure you go to TrendChat, check it out, listen to it. One of the best shows that I've ever been on. So make sure you go check it out, man. God bless y'all.
Yep, and don't worry. If you want to make sure you get her name, I will have that in the description, and will be, along with everyone else, it will be in the captions. So in case you want to follow her and everyone else on social media, I will have it all on the description of this episode, and also any social media posts as well. So now, before we get to our last clip, I just want to say another thank you to odgapparel.com. And I know I have a number of their hats and shirts and mugs as well. And if you don't know about ODG Apparel, they make very stylish Christian gear, shirts, hats, and mugs. And I know a shirt that I tend to wear a lot is the Stop Being Dead t-shirt, along with the hat Stop Being Dead. And if you don't know, so in saying Stop Being Dead, the message behind the shirt is stop being dead in your sins and live in Christ. And so they have a number of those type of shirts that kind of warrant, a question to someone who is looking at the shirt. So some people see my shirt and say, well, what that mean about stop being dead? And basically that goes into a discussion or just a quick, shout out, I guess, about, stop being dead in your sins. And sometimes that gets a good reaction. Sometimes it gets a negative reaction. It goes both ways. So, and, I remember when, I was in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, I was wearing the, God is not my co-pilot t-shirt, which that's a funny t-shirt to wear in a way, because some people can read it one way or another, which that is the point. Given if someone actually asks about the shirt, cause I came across a number of people who would see the shirt and they'll say, God is not my co-pilot. They will make it think that I'm, maybe agnostic, or it's like an atheist shirt or something. And I had some people actually mention I guess they would kind of look at it and would be like, oh yeah, and thinking that I'm not a Christian in a way, or maybe that I'm making an anti-God statement. And then, but once they would acknowledge that, I would say, he's not my co-pilot because he's the pilot. God is sovereign over all. And I remember one guy in Vegas that I said that to, like, it just totally changed the way he perceived me. I can just see it in his face, because at first when he saw it, he was like, yeah, that's right. Cause I'm guessing he wasn't a Christian. But once I explained it and said that, well, no, reason he's not my co-pilot is because he is the pilot. So, and he just went on, he went along very quickly right after that. So I didn't get a chance to, like I said, too much more. So, but yeah, odgapparel.com. And so they have shirts like that, hats and other accessories as well. And so if you put in the code TrendChat10, you can get 10% off on anything on the site. So odgapparel.com. And so check them out. I'm, also thankful for them for being a partner with us here on Trend Chat. So our last clip is with a good friend of ours, Sydney Sheridan. And so we're going to talk about something that we definitely have not talked about here on Trend Chat, because it's not something I have any knowledge about. And so I'm not even going to say what it is. You're just going to have to hear it. So without further ado, here's our clip with Sydney.
And we are very pleased to have Sydney Sheridan with us. I would say she's just all around just awesome. And I get to say a Second Amendment advocate. And also, we're both involved with Northeast Tarrant Young Republicans. And so just want to bring her on, talk about a couple of things. And maybe something that you don't hear too much about Trend Chat, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be on.
So, I guess first thing I want to bring up about the Second Amendment, being an advocate for the right to bear arms, and also you're involved with Empowered as well, right?
Yes, I am. So I was one of the Empowered's first campus coordinators. On campus, we're talking about how women's rights are gun rights, and how we kind of all can work together within this world, and to hopefully push the 2A movement.
And from that, also I noticed that you were featured on Time, being on the cover. How was that?
That was kind of a surreal moment. It kind of solidified everything for me, and I really felt like there was big media publications looking at us. I was fortunate to be on the cover with 200 other 2A activists on both sides, anti and pro-gun, and we all had a different story, and that was the most beautiful thing about it.
So, we're here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit, and I guess, what are you taking away from the event? We're pretty much at the end now, and so what has been the best thing, and what you get out of it?
Yeah, so this is my third year at YWLS, and every year I take something new. This year it was definitely just meeting new people, building those relationships with people that I have known, and really understanding different types of women and their stories and why they're conservative or why they're not conservative and why they're more moderate. Really listening and understanding and getting a different viewpoint.
So you said it's your third year coming here. So I guess is this the best one?
This one has been the most unique for sure. I think I wasn't an attendee this year. I was part of the sponsorship team with Alexo Athletica, and being able to work and go to events and do just a completely different thing than I did before definitely opened my eyes to a different side of politics, and it was really exciting.
Now let's get to something that you're very, very much passionate about, and like I said, it's something we don't talk about much on TrendChat, but we're going to talk about it. That'd be the Jonas Brothers.
Oh yes, yes.
Because I follow you on social media, so I know your love for the Joe Bros are just it runs deep. So I guess I'm going to let you just tell us about it.
Oh goodness, it's probably a little embarrassing now. I'm almost 21 years old, and I am probably the biggest Jonas Brothers fan there are. But hey, I have been to probably 15 shows. I am seeing them in Tulsa, meeting them in Tulsa, and then seeing them in Dallas probably twice. So I'm really, really passionate about it. I just love their music. I love that they're back together. It just makes me so happy. It brings a light to my life that I didn't even know with music and my past, and just re-upping everything I used to love, and it's still a part of me. So I'm rocking and rolling with it, and I will not stop being a fan.
Now, I'm not gonna act like I know that much, but I do know so one of them got married to.
They're all married now. Okay, they're all married. So Kevin married Danielle, and they live in New Jersey. And then Joe and Sophia are together, and she's on Game of Thrones, of course. Mm-hmm. And then Nick, the love of my life, married Priyanka Chopra, who I absolutely love as well. But they're like a power couple.
Okay, well, I'm guessing you're okay with that, so.
I'm a little upset about it, but honestly, I'm okay. It happens. I'm actually really happy for them all. I think they all are very happy, and they're living their best lives, and I can only be just a better fan because of it, because now I'm part of the whole family now. You're the fan of the Jonas family, not just the brothers.
Well, so if people want to, connect with you on social media, where would they go?
Yeah, so all of my social media is at Sydney N. Sheridan, SYDNEYNSHERIDAN. You can also Google me. I'm on there too. So it's super fun, super easy. I would love to see everyone follow me. Promoting Alexo Athletica, and just keep going to conferences and talking to women and spreading that 2A movement.
Okay.
This is Dana Lash, and you're listening to TrendChat.
That's right. We talked about the Jonas Brothers. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the last time we're going to talk about Jonas Brothers, unless we have Sydney back on, which is very much a possibility. So, but so thank you to Sydney, Lucia, Antonia, Amy, Emily, Lacey. Yeah, and so like I said, all of this, most of this, is just clips of longer interviews that will be played throughout the coming weeks, and so look to that, and we'll let you know when we'll have those interviews out. Now, as of this recording, Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, so just I know this holiday does not get as much love as Mother's Day, which is a shame, but it's just true. But that being said, I hope everyone will have a good Father's Day, and just I know for me, I will be sending out my Father's Day gift, unless I'm actually there, which is a possibility. Who knows? I don't know where I'll be on Sunday, but yeah. So hopefully everyone get a chance to enjoy Father's Day as well as they can. Let's put it that way. Just you never know about family, and whether it's fathers or mothers. I will hope we all have a good, healthy relationship with both our parents. So, and if we don't, I would pray you would be reconciled in some way. If you are, if you don't have a good relationship with either parent, but yeah. So, but that being said, I appreciate everyone coming on. Again, we are on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and like I said, if you don't find us on popular podcast outlets, you can always go to TrendChat247.com. And so I appreciate you listening. And you know what? We actually have a little time, which is not the norm. Normally we are like pushing it to 45 minutes, but not the case today. So with that being said, I wasn't planning on doing this. And again, before I play all this, again, 1776united.com, 76 militia-TrendChat, 20% off on great patriotic gear, odgapparel.com, TrendChat 10 for great Christian gear. So check both of those out. And so I guess we're going to just close out with this little compilation of shout outs that I put together. And it's just basically just a combination of all the shout outs that we've played and some new ones that we got from the Young Women's Leadership Summit. So we're going to just end that. We're just going to end with that. And so until next week, we will chat with you later.
Hey, I'm Amy Robbins.
And I'm Emily Valentine. And we are not your average gun girls. And you're listening to Trend Chat with Brian Bledsoe.
Hey, this is Benny Johnson. You're listening to Trend Chat with Brian Bledsoe, the best beard in the business.
What's going on? This is Brandon Tatum, and you're listening to Trend Chat.
Hey, what's up? This is Kai Jones, and you're listening to me on Trend Chat.
This is Sarah Gonzalez, and you are listening to Trend Chat.
Hey guys, John Miller here with Blaze TV. You're listening to Trend Chat with Brian Bledsoe.
This is Dana Lash, and you're listening to Trend Chat.
Hey, this is Antonia Okafor with Empowered, and you are listening to Trend Chat with Brian.
Senator, you know Brian.
Sure, good to see you.